Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and I know what you're thinking. Yes, I woke up like this. Today's the first day of the ContemporaryAthon. It is also a stat holiday where I'm from, so I got to sleep in, which was lovely. It means I'm behind on my reading already, but who cares? I got to sleep in. It was great. It being Monday, I also have 2 playlists I need to put up. The Women on YouTube group as well as the BookTube Weekly group, so I'm going to put those up, and then I'm going to dive into my first read. I thought I'd go through with you what my TBR for the readathon is. I have 6 out of 7 of the items with me. Somebody took the comic I needed out of the library just before I requested it, so I'm waiting for them to return it. If they don't, I'm sure I can pick up something else from the library because, you know, I'm there 5 days a week almost, so there's that. So here's my TBR minus the comic. The first one is Everyone I Hate But You, which is pink on the cover. Words in Deep Blue is my most recently acquired contemporary that I've purchased. It's also my favorite book from last year, so hooray, I get to reread. Moxie is my hyped book. Dress Codes for Small Towns is my diverse book. The Visitors is my dark contemporary, and Bellevue Square is the one that I was recommended by a friend I work with. So I'm gonna eeny, meeny, miny, mo and give one of these a go. Might as well start at the top. Well, that escalated quickly. So on Friday night, I thought I was getting sick because I had to go to a walk-in clinic to get a note saying that my back was fine and I could go back to work on Saturday. And I'm pretty sure I picked up a cold and I thought I had gotten rid of it before Saturday. No, it came back. No, it's not fair. I've got reading to do, so I'm making tea and then I'm gonna continue reading. Apologies for the angle, but I feel sick as fuck, so we're doing this from my couch. I have finished my first book. It is still the first day, you might be able to tell by the fact that I look incredibly ill. I have had so much tea and water and emergency, and I am still so tired I might need to like go out of my house and get sick supplies, and I don't want to, mostly because that means like putting on real pants instead of pajama pants, but maybe I will. I don't know. I'm gonna get on to the next book though. I think that next I'll go with Moxie because it seems to be the thinnest one that I still have from the library, and I'm trying to read those first just so I can give them back and then read the ones I actually own at my own leisure. Alright, I did it. I put on pants. I'm going for sick supplies. I don't even know what to pick up because I'm so sick that my brain isn't functioning, so I'm just gonna wander around the drugstore until I pick up random things, about half of which I probably don't even need. I made it back from the pharmacy and I didn't buy any useless crap, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm going to start reading Moxie, and I have soup and tea on the go right now. I'm sure I'll add water to that at some point. And I've taken some drugs. Legal ones. Food break. Good morning, it's day 2 and I'm on my way to work. I'm still pretty sick, but I'm drugged up and I need the money, so I'm gonna go to work and hope that they don't just send me home, because sometimes that happens, which is nice, but also with all the time I've been off work because of my back, makes me feel bad. Let's just go with bad. Last night I finished most of Moxie. I still have about a quarter of it left, so I'm hoping to finish that during my break at work, and then when I come home I hope to start Dress Codes for Small Towns, so I'm very excited for that. Good morning, it is day 3. Last night I finished about half of Dress Codes for Small Towns. I'm going to finish that today, both at work, which is where I'm going now, and then in my bathtub because it's Wednesday and I always read my bathtub on Wednesdays. I'm really enjoying it, and then last night I couldn't really sleep and my brain was doing weird things and I was having weird Dress Codes for Small Town related dreams that didn't make any sense, so, you know, that was weird. Thought I'd fill you in on that. One other thing that I thought was interesting that you might want to know about is the 2 audiobooks that I'm listening to this week have nothing to do with ContemporaryAthon, which is weird because usually for readathons I try to pick one of the audiobooks for the week to be one of my picks for the readathon, but I just didn't think of doing that this time. And that's probably good because I'm reading them both for book clubs whose meetings are coming up soon. One of them is the Smutty Book Club. I just finished that book yesterday, and yes, it was smutty. And then the other audiobook, which I just started yesterday, is The Night Circus, and that's for my local Nerdfighter book club, so hopefully I get that done before our meeting next week. In a shocking turn of events that's a surprise to no one, I'm going home sick, because I'm so sick. So I guess I get an extra half day of reading. Yay. Food break. One of the weirdest things I do in life is filming, you know, books in my bathtub for these vlogs. Not gonna lie, it's so strange to do. McKinley is so cute because she thinks that she needs to let us know about the Olympics, and to be fair, I don't know anything about them, so I'm here for it. Hello, good evening. It is nighttime. The lighting in my apartment is terrible at the nighttime, which is why I try to only film during the day, but what can you do for vlogging updates? And I look like crap because, obviously, I'm sick. That is the theme of this vlog. I tried unsuccessfully to nap earlier, and then I finished Dress Codes for Small Towns. This was really good. Thank you so much for recommending it to everyone, Natasha, because I loved it. I then caught up on a bunch of YouTube videos that I've been neglecting because I've been reading, and now I'm going to start my 4th book. I can count. This is going well. I'm going to start The Visitors, which is my dark contemporary, so wish me luck. That wallpaper, though. Good morning, it is day 4. Last night I only got through about 46 pages of The Visitors before I tried to sleep. Tried to being the operative words, considering I didn't sleep very well at all. So my cognitive abilities will probably be affected today due to lack of sleep for the 2nd night in a row. So reading will be so easy. But I'm actually feeling pretty confident. I think that I will be able to burn through this today and maybe start Words in Deep Blue, and then since I don't think that comic is going to show up by the time I need it, I'm probably going to read a collection that I have on my shelf that I might have read when I first got it, like 4 years ago, but I don't know if I did. It's a bind-up of a webcomic I used to read all the time called The Devil Wears Panties, and I'll probably just read that, to be honest, rather than worrying about waiting for a certain book to come in from the library. Not to mention I don't really feel like leaving the house, and these are my 2 days off. I have Thursdays and Fridays off work, so I'm gonna rest, probably have a nap at some point. Maybe I should make myself some tea, and I should read some more of The Visitors. Hello, it's a little after 4 in the afternoon and I have finally finished The Visitors. It's creepy as fuck, so keep that in mind if you ever want to pick it up. I mean, it wasn't overly creepy like all the time in the writing, but once you get to know like how it all plays out, you're like, okay, yeah, creepy. So I have 3 books left, and I think what I'm going to do is pick up the graphic novel that I've decided to read since I can't get the one from the library that I wanted to do for the readathon. This is The Devil's Panties, Volume 3. I love this webcomic. Just look it up, thedevilspanties.com. It's really funny. I'm a fan of the art style. And comic completed, so I'm going to enter it into my super dorky spreadsheet that I keep for all the books that I'm reading, and then take a little bit of a break and get into Bellevue Square. I'm about halfway through Bellevue Square, but I really need to take a nap, so that's happening, and hopefully I don't sleep the entire day away. So my fantasy of finishing 2 books today, I don't think that's going to come true. It's like about 4 o'clock, I think. And I am about halfway through the first book, so I really wish that my health was better than it was. But because books are wonderful, they're helping me escape the fact that I feel like crap, so there's that. Hey, so it's 9:30, which means that it took most of the day and 2 nap breaks, but I finally finished Bellevue Square. I don't want to give anything away about this book, but it's especially trippy if you read it while you're sick. Just gonna say. That means I have 1 book left for the readathon, and that is Words in Deep Blue, which is my favorite book from last year. This is my most acquired contemporary, and I'm very excited to reread it. And that's saying something because I'm not generally a rereader. I don't usually reread, but this is something I wanted to reread, so I'm very excited that I have an excuse to read it for the readathon, and I'm gonna start it now, but I also have to go to sleep because I would like to go to work tomorrow, hopefully, if my body cooperates. Hello, hi, it's Saturday, it's day 6 of the readathon. I did do some reading earlier today at work. I did not take any video of it because coworkers are scary and I don't want to do that. But I'm this much through and I'm just gonna finish it tonight and put together this vlog. Sorry, it was mostly just me being like, hey, I'm still sick and I'm still reading. But let's be honest, that's what this week has been. So it's just after 10:30 on Saturday night, and I've just finished Words in Deep Blue, which is why I'm crying and wiping tears off my face. This book is absolutely beautiful. I'll talk more about it in the wrap-up I do on Monday, and I've talked about it in the past because it's my favorite book. But it's about grief and loss and a love of books and literature and I'm really glad to have had a reason to read it again. As I've mentioned before, I'm not really a rereader. That's not really something I do, but I'm really glad that this readathon gave me a reason to do that. So yeah, I'm successful, a day early even, so I'm going to put this together and then get some sleep because I'm sick and I still need to go to work. Thank you so much to the hosts for creating this readathon. I really enjoyed doing it, and I will be there for the next one. Bye.